very warm welcome to our good friend, David Fram.
Well, thank you. So exciting to be here with you all. When I woke up this morning, I felt like it was my birthday. Because you know how much fun lay ahead. When you have somebody who's coming into you or going into a supervisor or a manager's office and saying, I'm having trouble doing something or I'm needing some leave because of some condition, the 5 magic words that supervisor, that manager, that HR professional should be asking. What are those 5 magic words? Scream them out. How can I help you? If there's a quick, simple, easy fix, here's what I would document. What does the ADA do in general when we talk about employment issues? First off, it says you can't discriminate. You can't discriminate against a qualified individual with a disability. Remember, if there's not a quick, simple, easy fix, that's where you go through the steps. At this point, you'd be asking yourself, is the person qualified? Let's go through the most recent court cases and the EEOC cases, because this is what gives guidance to supervisors, to managers, to lawyers, to HR professionals. Here's where we're going to talk about things like whether certain functions are essential or not, whether things like schedule. What's the EEOC's position on attendance as an essential function? There have been tons of cases looking at the job description. What are the courts saying on something like getting along with others as an essential function or handling stress as an essential function? So the 2 big things that start the process are, number 1, person asks, or number 2, we know about the disability and have reason to know the person's needing something. Now, sometimes people say, I don't want your help. I don't need your help. Go away. I'm doing my job just fine. Go away. Leave me alone. What should you do? First go away and then document. Why? Why does that happen? It happens because the supervisor doesn't like this person. Or on page 12, if the person brings in a note, a doctor's note saying can return to work with no restrictions, that's not a reasonable accommodation case. Take a look at this year's Garcia case or Hudson case. A doctor's note returning the person to work with no restrictions is equivalent to saying doesn't need an accommodation as an accommodation. Well, leave on page 47 and 48 is the primary accommodation that comes up in so many cases. I need leave. Now I know what some of you are wondering. What about when the person says, I do need 2 months, but then keeps extending it? What if somebody says, I need a smell-free environment? I need a new supervisor as an accommodation. Is that required? Let's talk about what's new on work at home as an accommodation. When somebody just can't do the job anymore. I just flat out cannot do my job. On page 22, that's when we look at reassignment. I've had HR people say to me, but what if this person is just using the system? We think this person is a malingerer. We think he's just trying to set up a lawsuit. Do we really have to go through all this? I would say do even more for that person. Remember, none of this is rocket science. It just requires you to go step by step through the process. Train, train, train. Train your supervisors, train your managers, and don't forget, it all starts off with the 5 magic words. How can I help you? How can I help you? Thank you. Thank you so much for your attention.